Hello, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Octamile Series webinar. Hi, Tola. Hi, Giga.
Hello.
Yes. So,
hello, Prince Will.
Hi, Ekerete. Hi, Giga.
Hi, Prince Will.
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning. Okay, yes, good morning, everyone joining us. I can see that the room is filling up really fast. Thank you for joining us. Sorry for the few minutes delay here. We're having some technical glitch over here, but we will start right away and get into it. So welcome to the Driving Insurance Penetration in Africa webinar by Octamile, where we're looking at the role of technology, data, and product redesign in basically driving insurance penetration in Africa. Just some few housekeeping rules to ensure that this session is very interesting for you as our guest, and also for anyone that would watch it later. So please put off all your mics if you're not speaking or asking a question. If you have any question, please put it in the comment section. Our panelists will definitely address your question. And I see that our chat box is already popping. I see Gideon, I see Uchenna, I see TYD. I see a lot of people dropping their hellos. I see Folashade, I see everyone, very engaging comment section here. So welcome once again to this session. So who are we? Who is Octamile? Why are we holding this session? Octamile is an insurtech startup in Lagos, Nigeria. Our goal is simplifying access to insurance to protect Africans from financial loss. And we do this in a lot of ways. We do this by providing insurance organizations with the technology to supercharge their insurance offerings, whether you're looking at automating and fast-tracking virtual claims, you're looking at insurance distribution, and also empowering ecosystems that are a bit away from the insurance sector to be able to offer insurance as a service or as an add-on to a service that they already offer, just to continue to protect users and their customers in the ecosystem from financial loss. So that is why we live to exist at Octamile. But beyond supercharging the technology, distribution, and uptake of insurance in Africa across Nigeria, one of the things we're also passionate about is holding sessions like this, where we get to share the challenges, the problems of the sector, and also profile solutions. And that is why we have this interesting, fantastic lineup of panelists that we have. So welcome. My name is Prince Will, and I'm going to be moderating this, and I'm going to be your host. To meet our speakers, I would like to introduce our first speaker, Ekerete. He's an administrator, a business thinker, and a customer advocate. He's currently involved in knowledge sharing and advisory services on insurance, risk management, strategy, and management. His working experience has been largely in the insurance industry at management and leadership levels. He's the founding CEO of Finterate Projects, a business fitness consultancy firm, and co-founder Smart Coach Global Nigeria Limited, a progressive community of seasoned business coaches and brave entrepreneurs. Join me, welcome Ekerete. Ekerete, welcome to the session.
Thank you very much, Prince Will. I'm happy to be here.
Thank you. We're happy to have you. Next on my list is someone I'm very privileged to work with. I would like you all to join me welcome Tola. Tola is a forward-thinking leader with expertise in setting goals, maintaining quality standards, and driving growth initiatives. She has over 2 decades of multifaceted experience in the insurance industry across the distribution of insurance products and services, underwriting, and claims administration. Tora is the Director of Insurance at Octamile and a member of PILA, the Professional Insurance Ladies Association, a foremost professional body of female insurance in Nigeria. Join me, welcome Tora. Tora, welcome.
Thank you, Prince Phil. I'm so excited to be here this morning. Looking forward to the discussion.
Yes, we're excited to have you on as well. And yes, we're looking forward to this session as well. And I would also like to welcome Giga. Giga has almost a decade's experience across the finance, insurance, and health industries. He's passionate about leveraging data to solve complex problems and also passionate about speaking engagements like this, where he loves to share insights to help the sector and individuals basically innovate and move forward. Giga has worked in strategy development and execution, internal consulting, strategic project management, and communication. He's the Director of Partnerships and Strategy at Octamile. And Giga is joining us all the way from Canada today. Hi, Giga. Welcome to the session.
Hi, Prince. Great to be here.
Okay, great to be here, and we are glad to have you. So, like I said earlier, today we are talking about driving insurance penetration in Africa, the role of technology and data and product redesign in achieving this, right? And to kick us off with today's session, I would like to start with this quote from Deloitte that says that 33% of insurance volume will come from brand new propositions in the sector. If you look at what this means for whether the consumer, the insurers themselves, it means that a lot of disruption is going to happen in the sector. And this is not just something unique to Africa, it's a global trend. So even as a professional in the sector, whether you're working as an agent, you're working in the traditional insurance side of things, or a broker, or you are a leader in the sector, what does this mean for you? And it will start me off with the first question by asking, and I would like all our panelists to attend to this question. Starting with you, Giga. My question would be, what do you think, in your opinion, are the biggest challenges of driving insurance penetration across Africa over the years? Why has this growth that has been witnessed everywhere across different sectors not happened in the insurance sector? Thank you.
Right. Thanks, Prince. And again, very nice to be speaking with a set of panelists that are very vastly experienced in the area. With respect to the question itself, why there is low adoption of insurance relative to other parts of the sector, I would think my first viewpoint on it would be just the fact that we have different economies. Nigeria and indeed most of sub-Saharan Africa all of sub-Saharan Africa is developing, so to speak, and therefore we have in reality, no matter how much we think, I do think insurance is really important to individuals and businesses. But if the first thing to say is that there is a high level of poverty in this region specifically. That means that people are perhaps not placing the right amount of value on insurance, or the amount of value on insurance as they should. And again, some of it has come from just the thinking that insurance is something for rich people. And I guess that would be my own answer. One of my answers to the question, something about the education of people along what insurance means. But I think if we were to talk about what the problem was exactly, would be the fact that there's a wrong view of insurance being for those who have money. But indeed, we know that it is not. Insurance is probably more important to people who don't have than people that do have. But I think economic circumstances make it difficult. And of course, the fact that insurance is not a compulsory, there are not a lot of compulsory insurances. There's not a lot of asset ownership, so there's not a lot that people can do in terms of buying insurance large scale. So some of it is just the economy, some of it is the view, and some of it is how much people see.
Thank you, Giga. Tola, what would be your thought around this? Hi, Tola, we can't hear you. Please check if your mic is on.
Hello, can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Hi, Tola, we can hear you. Please go ahead.
Okay, all right. So, yeah, rightly said, the level of insurance penetration in the continent of Africa is actually very low. And like you said, insurance global, figures, and looking at the spread of insurance premiums, across the continent, we see that South Africa actually has the largest share of contribution to, the penetration levels of insurance in the continent. South Africa, contributes about 70% of the insurance premiums generated by the continent, while about 10 other countries in the continent contribute the remaining part of the challenges, in addition to what Giga mentioned, include government regulation. I will
Hi, Tola. I think your network is having some challenges. We will get Ekerete's reaction to this and then come back to you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Prince Will, for this question. Can you hear me?
To continue now. Oh, okay.
Yes, I can hear you.
Should I
Please
continue?
Okay,
Tola, all right.
Let Tola just continue.
As I was saying, okay. So, all right. Yes, please. As I was saying, government regulation is not really targeted at the insurance sector, and where we do have, government regulation, there is really little or no enforcement to back it up. And in addition to that, we have insurance companies in the sector targeting the rich 5% of the population. Concerted efforts are not put towards targeting the larger population, which include those in the low income level and the informal sector. And if we look at what's happening in the bank with banks and fintech companies, we see that they are making fast inroads into the informal sector or the low income sector, and insurance companies should be targeting that sector as well to ensure that the penetration levels of insurance increase in the continent. Then we also have, if you look at product fit, there are not enough products to cater for the needs of those in the sectors we're trying to target, that's the low income sector. Most of the products available in the market are tailored towards large corporates and high net worth individuals. Thus, the companies in insurance companies need to start looking at coming up with innovative products that will suit the needs of those in the low income sector. Thank you.
Well said, Tola. Thank you so much. Ekerete, can we get your response to the question? Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much, Prince Will, and thank you, Octamile, for this wonderful time that you created for us to have. I just have one word for all of this, and that word is communication. The challenge with the insurance penetration in Nigeria and Africa is communication. And I will explain a bit of that, and not to take too much of our time. You know, you wake up every day in South Africa and other parts of the advanced economies, and you see messages on television, on radio, on your phone and everywhere telling you about insurance. And then they're not just telling you about the insurance companies, they are telling you about the insurance products you need to get, and they are making these adverts in very interesting forms. Some of us in Nigeria have had the opportunity of seeing adverts of insurance from South Africa and other economies, and we get excited. But in Nigeria, it doesn't happen that way. What you see all the time is crashed vehicles, burnt houses, and then you expect people to key into that. So we need to do a lot of work, get experts in communication to sit down with us and redesign the way we communicate with the market, whether the market is high end or low end. The challenge I see there is communication. And then to go with this issue is also that, I mean, I've been in the insurance industry and I've had low awareness for as long as I've been in the industry. And so sometimes you wonder, if we see this problem of low awareness and we continue to express it as the problem of the industry, it therefore means that we've not paid attention to it, in spite of the changing dynamics that have brought solutions that we could have employed to solve this problem. So we also tie this issue to a second problem that I see, which is confronting what I call the problems of the insurance industry. You know, we leave customers with so many unanswered questions. People ask questions and don't get answers, and you expect them to just buy your products. So we see a lot of efforts on the part of insurance companies trying to tell you how to buy products, but nobody's telling you how to get your claims paid, which is what the concern of the public is. And that's where the mistrust comes in. You do a lot of work trying to say how to buy the product and the ease with which to buy the product with technology and all of that. But when it comes to claim settlement, nobody's ready to talk about that. Oh, they say until when you have that problem, we'll be there for you. And that's where I think we drop the ball and then come back to this issue of people sharing the story from generation to generation that insurance is not paying. And then when we come back to the issue of communication, we will see a need to really present the industry in a positive way. The insurance industry has been paying claims of hundreds of billions of naira to the economy of Nigeria, for example, and across Africa. And nobody seems to be talking about that. We've not been able to, take our own value to people. We've had issues with expecting government to support insurance. I don't expect government to support insurance, because if government supports insurance, government is only supporting insurance to make insurance companies make money. And it's not going to work that way. We are the ones who have to take responsibility to reach the customers and get them to see value in what we are doing. And I know there is value, so we have to do a lot of work on communication. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ekerete, and thank you for raising that point about the industry not communicating its value. I know a lot of things have been said around why there's no penetration. Recently, news came out about how much is being paid, but when in claims in Nigeria, for example. But when you look at the industry, what you continue to hear is, oh, insurance industry don't pay claims, insurance industry don't pay claims. And this money being paid out is in the tune of billions. So I think I do agree with you that a lot needs to be done in that regard. But I think that my next question will be around So we're a continent of over 1.2 billion people, and I would like to get you, Ekerete, to react to this before I also take it to Giga. What do you think are the new trends that should be driving or that is driving insurance penetration, and how would that benefit doing it with data and technology?
Okay, thanks so much. What I see happening a lot is, and when I say a lot, it looks like we are realizing that that's where we ought to spend a lot of time on. What I see happening as a trend these days is that we are beginning to look at the business from the end. So people are a lot more interested in how you deal with the claims. How do you pay claims? How do I get my claims paid? How do I get some benefits if I don't get any claim, and all those kind of issues? So you see a couple of companies in South Africa, and one of them is Pineapple, that has tried to present a disruptive reverse, what I would call a reverse strategy in the market, and making you see your claims as where the business is. And so you are able to know that if I've had insurance for 6 months, this is the claim I would have had, but I don't have that claim. And so you are counting from the point of claims, you know. And we've got other companies also beginning to pay attention to that, knowing that this is what people expect. I think Africans just have a different mindset when it comes to how they manage their economy. I mean, we've got the greatest challenge for insurance coming from small groups that trust themselves, and when they want their money, they get it. They know they will get it. And when they don't get it, they know how they will deal with those who have caused them not to get it. So we are learning from this. That's one. Secondly, on the issue of, sorry, I have to go back to the issue of communication, because I've also seen some new trends in that direction. People are beginning to see that it doesn't make sense for you to just say, so this is what my company does. We have been there for 20 years. We have been there for 50 years. You know, people are expecting to hear how many people have enjoyed insurance value from you. And so they are beginning to work a lot more on the data that people consider as important. Yes, we've settled claims for 50 people amounting to so much, and then people are listening to this. People are paying attention to this and wanting to go in that direction. And lastly, I also have seen a situation where people, when they see disaster, when they hear that things have happened, people are naturally now beginning to expect that insurance will say something about this. And so we've had issues in Nigeria where people have had to ask, so what is the insurance industry's role in this? And so that creates an opportunity for insurance to step in and provide answers, which will help people to have a clarity of how insurance works and then go further from there. Thanks.
Thank you, Ekerete. Giga?
Thank you, Ekerete. Principally, if I'm right, you know, the question is, what do I think will drive the adoption of insurance, and what role does technology has to play? Could you?
Yes.
Great. So you know, I think Ekerete has given, you know, I did love his answers. I would just come from a sort of strategic point of view, which is how I see many things that I see. I think what drives the adoption, the purchase of anything from the customer's perspective, is the value proposition of it. And specifically for insurance, people insure what they value and they are afraid to lose and that they can afford. So I would think that if insurance adoption is going to increase in Nigeria, insurance companies from a commercial and from an individual side have to focus very radically on the needs. Oh, you can barely hear me speaking. How can I help that? Sorry about that. Let me see if I can help it in any way. Is it better? Is it a little better? Okay, so thank you. Okay, Sandy. I was saying, just to summarize what I said earlier, I said, people buy, people pay, people adopt what is of value to them, and when they can afford it. And I would say that for insurance to increase its adoption, it has to increase how much focus it places on what people value. There's a lot of talk about insurance trends globally, and what are the kind of things that will sell, etc. I would like to say that insurance companies have to personalize or have to localize what is important, and not just go with global trends. Insurance companies in Nigeria have to focus on selling what matters to Nigerians. I do significantly love some of the trends that are going on, with insurance companies. There's a big focus on, for example, healthcare, because it is an area that adds value to people and that people are willing to pay for. I think insurance companies have to focus on areas that add value to people and that people are simultaneously willing to pay for. Aside from, of course, what has been said, which is communicating those values to people. So driving the adoption of insurance, my personal view is is going to have to be the increased focus on what is of value to people. And I'm not surprised at all that health insurance is starting to play a big role in how people see insurance. Because if asset ownership is low, aka how many people have cars, and there's a lot of variation if you ask people on how many cars are in Nigeria, but the number is usually something like 9 million, 10 million. Then that places a limit on the amount of insurance of cars. The same thing goes for homes, etc. A lot of the commercial space is already covered. And then therefore new value needs to be created, new risk, sustainability, whatever it is that companies now value. And same goes for individual. The second question, or the second approach to that question, is what role does technology have to play? Well, technology does indeed play a role for people, but I want us to not think of technology as things like mobile apps, etc. Technology is anything that people use to advance their own way of life, to make life more efficient for them. Sometimes technology might be telephone calls. And let me just talk very briefly about some data that is coming out recently. When post-pandemic, when a lot of people thought, and this is sort of global information, not just Nigeria. Forgive me, please, because I don't have a lot of information on Nigeria. When a lot of people thought, when the pandemic struck, and a lot of healthcare, health insurance, and health consultation switched to technology, so to speak, to virtual consultations. A lot of people thought it was going to be things like video calls that is going to constitute virtual care. It turns out that because most of the world does not have access to Zoom and co, contrary to what we all think, because we're on Zoom, 70% of virtual care is actually through basic phone call globally. I think insurance companies need to rethink technology and make it technology that people actually use. So things like WhatsApp, etc. To summarize my answer, the adoption of insurance of any product is always going to be driven by its value proposition. And the fact that people can have, value proposition simply means how much value does it add and can I afford it? And the role that technology has to play is that insurance companies have to meet people in the technology that they use. We have to define new ways in which we can access people. If it's phone call, if it's WhatsApp, we shouldn't have a fixed mindset on what technology is and then build in a way that excludes people. We have to build technology that includes people. And in Nigeria right now, I think that means mobile technology and, literally GSM access.
Thank you so much, Giga. Insurance needs to build up around the need of people. Well said. So to my next question, I will be asking, anyone. Maybe let's start with Tola. Can take this. How do you think the current insurance market in Africa differs from the rest of the world when it comes to driving penetration? I know some of Giga's last statement has already shed some light around this, but in your opinion, Tola, how do you think the current insurance market in Africa differs from the rest of the world when it comes to driving penetration of insurance products on the continent? Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Principal. So let's consider it from the point of view of the look and feel of insurance. The look and feel of insurance in most advanced climes make insurance attractive, make people want to buy assurance, make people want to make inquiries about what the product they're offering is all about and all that. But looking at the African continent, the look and feel of insurance is actually, sorry to say, a bit boring. It doesn't attract people as such to want to buy insurance. If you look at what's happening in the banking space and with the fintech companies, we see a lot of buzz in how they are projecting their offerings. We see how attractive their offerings are, and we see people gravitating towards trying out their offerings. So that's one aspect that it's the way we do insurance here is a bit different from more advanced climes. Then if we also look at technology as well, we have to go back to technology because technology has a huge impact on the way insurance, on driving penetration of insurance. In this part of the world, we are a bit slow to adopt current technology, and it can be attributed to the fact that technology is expensive. It's very expensive, but it's actually required in driving operations of insurance companies, driving, developing products, driving customer experience and all that. If we look at what's happening in the United States with a company called Lemonade, they are using artificial intelligence and chatbots as part of their business model to pay claims faster. And because of that, the company is actually doing well. So technology has, the way we adopt technology in this part of the world is actually a bit slower due to, like I said, it's expensive, it's a bit novel. Insurance companies tend to be a bit cautious in switching to new terrains and all that. Then if we also look at distribution channels, in more advanced clients, there are various distribution channels that are explored to distribute insurance products, to get insurance products to the hands of consumers and all that. But in Africa, we are still working with the more traditional ways of distributing insurance, and there are a lot more terrains to explore with innovative distribution channels. Yeah, just to mention a few. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Ekerete, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, thanks, Prince Will. I'd just like to add that what I see in other parts of the world as compared to Africa is that they do what I call data-driven marketing. So they've got data, and they take their time to look at the different demographics, and so when they make contact with you, they already have information about you, and they're very close to describing your needs as per insurance, and so they offer you something that you can almost want to buy immediately. That's one. The other thing is that they look at their environment and try to develop products that suit their environment. In Africa, we are still trying to sell the way we see it in advanced economies, and that's why a lot of the time you are speaking about insurance to somebody and he's looking at you and wondering, what are you talking about? So when he looks around him, he sees a susu and he's asking, is it the same thing as a susu? You say, no, it's not. So what is yours? And you start describing what an Englishman needs and all of that. So it's what the problem is. And so I just think the earlier we begin to look at, and it goes back to what Giga said, let's come back home and look at how people live their lives and identify, using technology and data, what their needs are, and provide something that almost connects with their lives. Because when we're talking about technology now, and we are all talking about products and all of that, I think it goes beyond products in the sense that people are going to look for ease and convenience, which is what technology does. And so how convenient is it for me to buy your product? How easy is it for me to reach you and make my complaints and get responses? In my work, I've seen that there are a lot of insurance companies that don't have very interactive websites. The facilities are there, but somehow, when I try to test them, I see that the response doesn't come. And then when it comes, somebody is saying, can you send me your phone number so that I can call you? And I said, that was not the essence of why you had that there. So why do you need my phone number to call me? Can't I finish this process without speaking with you? So we are still trying to adopt what works. But for us to do that, we need to then, embrace the way people live their lives and not try to change the way they live their lives because we want to sell insurance. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ekerete. This is getting a lot more interesting. And just to reset the room a bit, I see that more people have joined us. Welcome to Driving Insurance Penetration in Africa, the role of technology, data, and product redesign. We are Octamile. Octamile is an insurtech company helping traditional insurance companies develop solutions to help drive penetration of insurance on the continent, as well as bringing non-insurance businesses, digital businesses, and platform businesses into the value chain to help the distribution of insurance products. And just to move quickly, I would move to the next question. My question would be, as of 2020, if you look, there's more than 548 million registered mobile money accounts in Africa. If you bring that home to Nigeria, 15.3 million of that, they are domiciled here in Nigeria. And that's how fast mobile money, over the last, will I say, decade has been adopted in the fintech space, in the banking space. How do you think that insurance products on the continent can be redesigned to drive this level of adoption that you see when you look at the fintech space, when you look at the banking space? Recently, one of the big technology giants announced that it will be launching also a mobile money solution here in Nigeria. How do you think that insurers need to begin to redesign products to be able to have this huge level of adoption for products?
Okay, should I get this rolling?
Yes, you can. You can, please.
All right. Yeah. So the figures you've mentioned are very exciting. We have about 50 million subscribers to the mobile money platform, in Nigeria, in Africa, and I'm sure millions. The figure runs into millions in Nigeria, and that just tells me that the potential for insurance growth in this continent, in Nigeria, is very huge. We just have to look at the terrain and then look at various ecosystems and see what kind of products will fit these ecosystems. We need to come up with innovative products that will be tailored to the kind of risk that exists in these ecosystems. And also, it also provides the avenue for partnership with these mobile money operators. They have their various platforms, their various customers that run into millions, like you said earlier, and these are customers yet to be untapped by the insurance industry. So there's room for collaboration, there's room for partnership in driving, penetration of insurance in the continent. Thank you.
Giga, you want to also take a stab at that, please?
Sure. Thanks. So again, I'll go to the product design process. If we start from, so I think 4 things would make a difference in terms of how how insurance companies design products. And at this point, I guess I need to start plugging in Octamile services for the insurance sort of industry players that are in the room, very likely. The first is in terms of adoption. Insurance products need to be designed in a way that is where people are. Like you said, a lot of people have mobile accounts. A lot of people, even when they don't have what is classified as, I don't know if, being registered on something like Jumia One counts as having a mobile money accounts. But the point is that they have mobile enabled payment services somehow, Flutterwave, Paystack, etc. I think we need to embrace a lot more embedded insurance, one-click insurance types. As soon as I have an asset, a phone, I need to be able to insure it without, the last time, every year I do home insurance for my house. It takes about a month to go through the valuation, the agreement on pricing and payment process. I think insurance products need to design better adoption by making these products embedded into people's everyday life. I need to be able to, on my phone, maybe not even on the insurance, I hope you can hear me clearer. Not even on the insurance company website or app, you should be able to go somewhere at the point of purchase, buy insurance. So embed it a lot more into people's valuables at the time of purchase. As I said, we need to make payments much easier. Payments still seems to be difficult, both at organizational level and at customer level. Again, these 2 things, embedded insurance and payment simplification, are things that Octamile has created, wonderful APIs for, and have made them very, very simple. Claims processing has been mentioned already. People need to see that it is easier to the only 2 times when anybody uses their insurance or thinks about insurance, I like to think, I don't know, but I'm assuming that for customers, the only 2 times you think about insurance is the point where someone is convincing you to pay, when you pay for it, and if you ever receive a claim. Otherwise, the next time you think about insurance is at the next payment. And then finally, from my point of view, premiums need to be designed in a way, and I don't want to be in a way that people can afford. The per capita income in Nigeria, assuming that income is evenly distributed, which we all know it is not, is about $2,000. If we break that down into 12, it means people are earning something like slightly over $100 or less than $200 every month, or maybe $150. A product that therefore costs, for me to do a motor insurance on, let me say, a Corolla is close to people's annual, sort of monthly salaries, and therefore, it might make sense in the way products are. And by the way, I'm very, very focused on individual insurance as I speak, simply because I think commercial insurance is very well covered. Commercial companies can afford to and do pay. They carry a lot of the burden of insurance currently right now, and so that's why I'm very focused on individual. I think, again, going back to what I was saying earlier, pricing needs to the payment of premium needs to be designed in a way that people can actually afford to use. I was just describing how the cost of the comprehensive insurance is about 60% of many of the average Nigerian salary. This is assuming income is distributed, which it is not. So there's no way that a person who earns 150K is going to pay 50K, to 50,000 naira for the insurance of his Corolla every month. It does seem to me that it makes a lot more sense to for Nigerian, and I don't want to have any issues at all with Nikon, but I think that maybe there are even private solutions to this problem, like premium financing, which again is the responsibility of insurance companies to look for partners that can facilitate this, which is again something that Octamile already does. So the way I see it is that a lot of the solutions are already provided by Octamile. But I guess my point is, if there is no premium, no cover, and people have to pay everything all at once, it makes it difficult for people, because I want to insure my car comprehensive insurance, but I can't pay 50K to insure my Corolla. If you make me pay 5,000 naira every month, which would mean that at the end of the year, I'm actually paying more than I would pay at once, it might make a lot more sense. That comes with a lot of credit risk, but there are a lot of banks and organizations that are designed to cover risk in Nigeria, cover financial risk in Nigeria. So I would think that the ecosystem is enabled. Insurance companies just need to find more partners and build products in a way that people can afford to pay for. Sorry, I think that went on too long, but apologies.
Thank you so much. It was interesting all the same. So I see that our comment section is having a lot of engagement. Thank you. I would like to get Michael. I see that your hand is raised to ask the question that he has to ask. Michael, please ask your question. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, host. I'm Michael. I'm joining in from Ghana. It's an interesting discussion you're having. I hope you hear me. You can hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. We can hear you.
Yeah, so it's an interesting discussion you're having. I just wanted to bring in some few thoughts from Ghana, especially with the question that your last question you raised in terms of MTN getting what's the name, the mobile money license to operate in Nigeria. Just to let you know, here in Ghana, we far past the mobile money stage, and mobile insurance is one of the fastest growing channels when it comes to insurance in Ghana. Currently being led by IO. IO is basically powered by between MTN and Metropolitan Life, but it's moved to I think Saham Life. And it's one of the fastest growing in terms of people they're signing on, in terms of staff strength, in terms of, so in every space you realize that the the mobile insurance environment is growing. And the second one major player is Bima, also in Ghana, also partnering with Airtel Tigo. And you realize that the technology has taken center stage when it comes to insurance growth, especially within the life sector in Ghana. Also, you have on the sidelines a number of insurance companies partnering with these technology-based organizations, and some fintech organizations being in the middle, and they're running mostly mobile insurance. So you have organizations currently running insurance over the mobile phone. Just to let you know that in areas of funding, as the presenter was raising, within the technology environment, we've moved from the standard insurance to more of a micro, based insurance. So on the fintech platform, the policies that are running are more micro insurance based, platforms. What personally I foresee is that the future for Africa, when it comes to insurance, is within the space of micro insurance and technology-based insurance distribution. In terms of claim processing, for instance, for the IO platform and the BMAP platform in Ghana, for instance, you have the whole process done online. So there's no physical interaction between the policy holder and the insurance company. Claims are processed and handled online, and it ranges from life insurance through fire insurance and also to health insurance. And I just want to say that in Africa, it's going to change. The platform is going to change. FinTech is going to rule. InsurTech is going to be the order of the day, because it basically brings convenience. And what the microinsurance platform has done is also to bring the premiums down. So you don't have people having to pay major premiums at renewals, but be able to spread them on a monthly basis or weekly basis, depending on the platform that is created. So I think that your topic in terms of driving insurance penetration in Africa, the role of technology is quite relevant today. And also product redesign. Obviously, we will need to redesign the products, like I said, through microinsurance platforms and be able to push that. So generally, I'm supporting what you're saying, and I think you're doing a great job.
Thank you so much, Michael. Thank you for that contribution. I would like to also read out some thoughts in the chat. Daniel says, I do not agree that there are not much products to cater to the lower income earner. I feel that it has to do more with enlightenment. Keying into what Ekerete said about communication, more communication, tailoring how communication is carried out, tailoring how marketing and advertising is done for insurance products. Uchenna says, thank you, Uchenna, for also for this comment, says that that's the point. I agree. I agree with Giga on value proposition is key in ensuring insurance penetration. Insurance professionals have to look outside in not just pushing out products that may not meet the needs of people. It would be great if the group life insurance can be portable or transferable, so that if I leave one employer, my insurance policy continues in so far as I pay my premium. Maybe a base premium, maybe because of my income, may fluctuate. Antoinette says, would you allow the insurance company pay your claims installmentally if you are given a payment plan to pay your premium? I think this is a question we would get back to. He was asking, would you allow an insurance company pay your claims installmentally if you're giving payment plan to pay your premium? Flashade also said, and maybe look more into composite insurance with extensions for various cover. So full body insurance instead of having eye insurance, nose insurance, leg insurance, nail insurance, and arm insurance separately. Thank you all. Keep the questions coming, keep the comments coming. This has been a very engaging session so far. And it will sort of, again, bring me to reset the room a bit. So Giga has mentioned some of our value propositions at Octamile, and a report came out from the UK to say that every 5 minutes, a fraudulent insurance claim is uncovered, and this is killing a lot of insurance companies on the continent. Wherever you look at, there's a lot of fraud. Recently, one of our solutions, our automated claim solution, flagged a fraudulent claim for a client. Now, we know that in the insurance industry, fraudulent claims comes in so many ways. In this case, the car was actually accidented, but had some accident and some rupture that wasn't probably caused by a third-party user to the car. And what the user just did was to just add the new incident with the old incident, and with some body makeover that the consumer wanted to fix at the same time, and just bundled everything into, and immediately the system saw it, it just flagged it. And that will introduce you to our automated claims solution. It's a seamless claims fast track technology. We build this around whatever rules that you already have in place, so or workflow that you already have in place as an insurer. It's not going to disrupt your processes. It's not going to disrupt what you're already doing. It's just going to ensure that you minimize fraud, you optimize your staff productivity, and like we said, you can do virtual claims wherever the customer is. Whatever happens, you can get them. And one of our current partners using this solution, for certain claims made, they get to pay it out in less than 60 minutes. I mean, it's been a fantastic experience for them, and we continue to work with them because, again, InsurTech is at a very early stage. When you have partners, you work with them, feedback from them, and you continue to improve the product to work for the organization as well as work for the consumer. Our embedded digital insurance products basically enables our partners to be able to distribute insurance seamlessly across ecosystems that are not even in the insurance space. One of our recent partners that we just closed the partnership with and announced this week, DriveMe, it's enabling them offer micro insurance products, like Michael has mentioned, to drivers, fleet owners, and other mobility users in their ecosystem. It's also going to ensure that when they're doing motor insurance, when they're doing claims, all that is going to be done from their ecosystem. And users, like Giga had mentioned, they don't necessarily need to leave where they are to be able to access insurance products. Oluwatosin says, interesting conversation. Thank you, Oluwatosin. And I see that your hand is raised, Oluwatosin, so I would bring you to the mic as well to speak or ask your question. Thank you. Oluwatosin, please unmute and ask your question. I've given you access to speak.
Good day.
Hi, Oluwatosin. Good day. Welcome to Talking Insurance webinar.
Yes, the conversation is really interesting. My question is this going to be like an every week program? Because I think I love this entry today.
Okay, what we're doing so far is finding relevant feedback from our audience. This is as a result of an earlier one we had in February, late February. So it's likely going to be a monthly event. When we can't do it monthly, we will definitely have it bi-monthly, but it's going to be a frequent event in the industry. We're trying to have these conversations to inspire not just organizations, but professionals like yourself in this space to be able to innovate, to be able to digitize and drive insurance penetration. And I will move on to the last couple of questions that we have so that we can wrap this up. We don't want to keep you here for so long. So my next question will be, since distribution is a huge part of driving insurance penetration in Africa, Giga, what do you think should be the new trends insurance organizations should be looking at when it comes to either partnership, and I know you've spoken about this a bit, but maybe shed more light around it to drive further penetration away from what is currently being done, maybe whether using field salespeople and all that. We know that, so far that has done its bit, but it's not sustainable to a certain extent. So what would you say, are the new trends that insurance and non-insurance businesses, in the ecosystem on the continent can be looking at to improving penetration? Also speak to this, bearing in mind that, we have brokers in the sector, we have agents in the sector. What can technology necessarily do for them to be able to ensure that business profitability for them is also achievable and attainable as we continue to drive further penetration for the continent? Thank you.
Thanks. I think that a lot of how the partnerships help. I think that a lot of the needs to be first. We can start from brokers first. Actually, there needs to be bigger integrations from I think a tech and support perspective, tech and data perspective to support brokers to make things easier. This will, I think, one of the big reasons that this may not have been adopted significantly is that tech integrations, especially that are external to the organization, may be initially expensive, but in the long term they would usually be worth it. But anything that enables, for example, things like claims reporting, claims payments, policy payments to be almost instant from any either broker or shop would make a lot of sense. Just to materialize what I'm trying to say, whether it's a broker or it's a shop on the side of the road, insurance companies, my view is that insurance companies need to make sure that all of our products are buyable, almost instantly. I know that there is a lot of risk management involved. There's the risk that things won't happen, etc. But I think that in a lot of ways, technology has already helped defeat a lot of the issues that were considered as risky perhaps 10 years ago. An example of this would be in terms of things like car inspections. I don't see why technology is not able to solve that problem in such a way that people should be able to buy even comprehensive insurance in like a 30-minute period. People buy and sell cars on these car purchase apps inspect, buy and sell in a matter of hours. I think it should be possible also with insurance. I think the technology needs to be extendable. So I think more granular partnerships. Someone, Folashade, did mention on the group that perhaps we need hope. Yeah, I forget the composite products, composite insurance products, where a lot of insurance is combined. I do agree with that. But I also think, you know, miniaturized products are really important, so that if people and this, all of this goes in partnership, not from a direct distribution perspective, but from a, you know, almost partnership and distributor perspective. So leveraging things like bank insurance, but like the distribution network of banks, or agents, mobile money agents, to sell things that are either miniature or large. To summarize my response, insurance companies need to leverage distribution networks that are not theirs. Right now, it does seem that there's a lot of focus on insurance distribution networks that are owned by insurance companies. When they are not owned by insurance companies, it does seem like insurance companies want to use distribution networks like those of banking that is not designed for insurance, meaning that they can't do things like car inspection, they can't do things like sell a policy immediately. And it almost looks like those mobile money agents are people that just collect forms, send it to a bank, and you still need a couple of days to get your insurance policy. In many cases, not in all cases. I know that some of these problems have been solved, but those distribution networks are not designed for insurance. I think insurance companies need to pay a lot more attention into designing their partnered distribution networks, mobile money agents, agency networks, a lot more to suit and sell insurance products. I think this would really help, because it means that, and then it needs to reward the distribution networks, incentivize the distribution networks to sell these products a lot more. So, you know, I think the problem is beyond technology. It's in how the partnerships are structured. But clearly for me, it has to go beyond insurance-owned distribution networks.
Thank you so much, Giga. So I would ask probably our last and final question and get everyone to react, and we close this off. Like I said, we typically like to keep this 15 minutes to 60 minutes. We don't like to keep you here long. We just come here, share, learn, and then continue in the next one. My next and last question would be to you, Ekerete, and I would also like Giga or Tola to react to this before we close out. According to reports by Deloitte, like we've seen, 23% of premium volume in 2018 in the UK came from propositions that were not existent 5 years ago in 2018. What I would like to ask is, what questions should business leaders, insurance leaders in this space that are involved in making key decisions that would see driving insurance penetration in Africa to happen, what questions should they be asking themselves when it comes to whether considering technology, whether considering data, whether considering product design? I understand you mentioned earlier, Ekerete, about how, you know, there's a lot of data floating around in the sector, but when you reach out to someone for a product, they're asking you again, and they already have your email, they already have even sometimes your phone number, and they're asking you that question. And these experiences are not customer centric. So what questions should business leaders in this space, when looking to drive insurance, what questions should they be asking for adoption of technology, data, and product redesign?
Okay, thanks so much, Prince Will. I have had the opportunity of sitting as the CEO of an insurance company in Nigeria, and I know that we've focused too much on how much premium we have generated, and we've ended up not even knowing how many customers have given us this premium. We've not been able to say easily how many policies we wrote to give us this premium. So there are some insurance companies that have seen the need to step back and take these numbers to then determine how it has helped them to achieve that premium level and how they can do more. So we've got to continue to have business leaders asking, how many customers have given us this business that we have earned billions of naira on for this year? How many policies did we write? Because like Tola said earlier, there are a number of different products out there in the markets. My last check, there were not more than 60 products. However, just maybe 10 products have been the ones selling very well. So why are other products not selling? What do we need to do? And that goes back to the issue of product design that we discussed. And one thing that we left out of that discussion, which I need to mention, is the position of the regulator. Some years back, we had a number of insurance companies, I think 2 or 3, 4 insurance companies that came out and were selling insurance through recharge card and all of that. It was the central bank and the NCC that came through and stopped that process. Something that was moving and insurance was beginning to boom. Since then, we haven't had a rejig of that policy to then know how we can continue to do that business, So it's not so much of insurance companies also resigning. There's a regulatory challenge there. And when you talk about distribution channels also, we have to be asking ourselves, does this product that we are redesigning, will it work with the distribution channel that we are using? Or do we need to change the distribution channel to be able to sell this kind of product? If you've not answered those questions, you shouldn't conclude on the product redesign. So to my mind, these are some of the questions we should be asking, like you've said. And then more importantly, we go back to the issue of claims. How many of our claimants are still with us? Because sometimes when customers go through the process of getting their claims paid by insurance companies, halfway into that discussion, they will have made up their mind that they're not going to renew the policy with the insurance company. And so insurance companies need to check, and see how many of people that they have paid claims are still doing business with them. The corporates may be there, but the individuals are not there. And when they leave with the story that every other person gets to take away. So these are some of the questions I think they should be asking themselves. And if they don't get answers to these questions, they should not take decisions to do certain things about what they are doing in terms of product design, in terms of distribution channel, and then importantly, the regulatory position. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much, Ekerete. Tola, do you have anything to add? Questions that leaders in this space need to.
Okay, so questions I would like leaders in the space to ask themselves is how soon do we want to tap into the opportunity that technology provides to increase our reach into the untapped insurance space and drive insurance distribution and penetration? How soon do you want to tap into leverage on technology? And why won't you leverage on partnering or on the opportunity that insurance tech companies provide and partner with a company like Octamile to help you, gain the mileage you're looking at in terms of reach into the untapped markets and having that reach in a cost-effective manner? Why would you want to spend so much money on legacy systems that will impact on your bottom line instead of tapping into partnership with insurance companies, insurtech companies that will give you mileage, and improve your operational efficiency and customer experience? So those are the questions I would like business leaders to ask themselves. Thank you.
Thank you, Tola. Giga, do you have anything to add?
Actually, no. I think well said. I think well said.
Okay. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. Like I said, we are Octamile. We build solutions for traditional insurers to be able to, digitize their offerings, whether you're looking at claims, whether you're looking at data to make the right decisions, whether you're looking at them optimizing to minimize risk and optimizing for productivity. and also, saving on expenses. I mean, if you partner with us and via our embedded solution, it means that your distribution network right now will definitely expand. To everyone that has joined us here, thank you for joining. We've had a very engaged session because of you. We look forward to seeing you in the next one. We'll definitely send an email. If you have any questions regarding to this session or regarding to any of our solutions or any partnership, if you're a digital business platform watching this now or later, and you need to reach out to us for any meetings, just email business@octamile.com. I myself or any of my colleagues will reach out to you. Please reach out to us also via our website, www.octamile.com. You can follow us across social media. We're on Instagram, we're on LinkedIn, we're on Twitter, just trying to have conversations like this to sort of drive the visibility that the insurance sector truly does need. Someone is asking, are we going to get the recording for this session? Yes, the recording will be available on demand on the same link that that you joined. We're also going to post it across our social media channels so that you can also just put in your details and then you can access. We also have access to. You also would have access to even the past episodes of this session that we've had. So once again, from myself, Prince Will, and everyone at Octamile, to everyone that joined us today, thank you so much, Ekerete, for sharing your insights with us. Thank you, Tola, as well. Thank you, Giga. We look forward to even having, more insightful conversations like this for the space. I believe personally is for the good of the sector, because with conversations like this, not just leaders, but also professionals in the space will begin to think how we can all contribute to providing the sort of net that Africans out there need to be protected from what is going on. I mean, if you look at the continent, everywhere you look, inflation is at a very high rate, and if people aren't already earning enough and they are just losing that to every incident or everything that life throws at them, you're not going to guarantee a continent that will definitely be progressive and live the best of its life, like the Gen Z would say. So thank you so much for joining us. I will look forward to seeing you in the next one, and enjoy the rest of the day. And if you're in Nigeria as well, enjoy the long holidays. Cheers. Bye.
Bye. Thank you very much.
Thank you.